In a recent video, I recommended that all financial advisors go through a thought exercise. And here's the exercise. I'm not saying that AI will completely replace you, although I do think that AI is going to replace 90% of financial advisors, just gone. But you don't have to believe that. Here's the thought exercise that I was recommending. Make a list of everything that you do for clients as a financial advisor. I'm a financial advisor. I've been a financial advisor for decades. These videos are a series of videos for financial advisors who are professional, full-time advisors. I focus on affluent, ideal client families. So the advisors who tend to gravitate towards my videos are financial advisors who serve clients like that and provide comprehensive financial services. I fit a certain type of client and I appeal to a certain type of advisor, but the thought exercise is the same. If you're a financial advisor, sit down and make a list of the value that you currently provide to your clients. I went through that in a previous video. I said, just make a list. Here are all the things that I do. The client pays me compensation, whatever that amount is on an annual basis. They pay me money, and here's what they get. Then the thought exercise is assume for a moment that at some point in the future, AI can do 80% of that. Not all of it, but let's say that AI can take over doing 80% of what you currently provide to clients as the value that you're providing. AI can do all of that, 80% of what you do, better, faster, and for free. When I say free, I mean, clients that are tuned into AI and use AI, they're paying something currently. They may just have ChatGPT and they're paying 25, 30 bucks a month or something like that. We're just now coming into a time where there are agentic AI, so you can also hook up with an AI that does things, like goes on your calendar and does things, or can log into your bank account or your investment account and do things. I'm not asking you to believe that AI will ever be able to do this. I'm just saying, what if AI could take over 80% of what you're currently doing and do it better, faster, and for free? Where would that leave you? That's the thought exercise. What I wanted to do in this video is a little bit different because I've done an entire series of videos on AI, because what you do with that information, and let's just assume that what's left over on the list are things that are unique to you. Things that maybe your clients have shared with you. This is why I hired you. This is why I value you so much. Here's what I really value most about you. This is what you're left with typically. The 20% of things that AI will not be able to take over are going to be things that a human is superior at over AI. If I were to say it another way, because I've started doing research on this, what do clients want from a human advisor over and above what they might want from an automated advisor like an AI advisor? I've started to research this because clients are starting to think about this. Could there come a time when I could hire AI to replace my advisor? If clients aren't thinking about this, they will be as AI improves exponentially. And for sure, financial services firms, the big companies, the big complexes, they're studying that. My firm's studying that. We've already got AI doing some incredible things that are extraordinary as far as client value. But the reason that an affluent client would say, even if the AI could do all of this better, here are some things that a human provides a superior experience. That's the phrase that I want you to think about. What is it about the experience that you provide as a human would be worth at least what you're charging right now in fees, and potentially even more? This is what we have a small window of opportunity right now to create this moat of protection around your business, really leaning into those things. And what has caught my attention in the data is most advisors, A, aren't thinking about this, and B, are completely oblivious to what those things are. They don't know typically why clients value them. And usually when you actually sit down and spend 30 days and every time you meet with a client, ask them the question, What do you value most about this relationship with me? Why did you choose me over every other firm in town? You could have hired anyone, but you chose me. Thank you. Why was that? What was it that you expected? And what is it that you value in this relationship? You, as a business owner, should be asking those questions right now. We have a small window of time where if you can get really clear on those things that, in the opinion of your current clients, you are providing a human experience that they truly value. I want to go through in this video the 3 things that a human can do better than AI, and I would make a case that AI will never be able to replace the way that humans do it. This is something that we started studying at the beginning of 2025. I formed an AI small group. I invited a group of advisors worldwide to join this AI small group that I'm mentoring, and we worked together to implement and utilize AI so that we could see what AI is capable of doing. I'm ashamed of the fact that until about October of 2024, I just thought AI was a novelty. Of course, we've all read about it in the Wall Street Journal, and we know how important it is at the macro level. We know that the economy is devoting a lot of resources, energy, and everything to fund the expansion of AI. And we also know that AI is improving exponentially. But what I had not done, unfortunately, until October of 2024, is make a commitment to do a really deep dive into what is possible with AI. What I'm about to share with you is a work in progress. 3 items of a list that will ultimately be dozens of things, but these are 3 things on the list that we have confirmed are things that a human can provide an experience that AI cannot and probably will never be able to. Let me go through them because I want you to start thinking about those things in your business that clients truly value. And not that I'm predicting that it will happen to you, or I'm not predicting a time frame like next 5 years or whatever, but I'm saying just assume for a minute that whatever you're providing to clients as a service that clients are paying you for currently, 80% of those things are gone. AI can take them over. Maybe you're managing the AI for the client, or the client just takes it over because why do we need you if AI can do it for free? So what are the 3 things that we've identified so far that humans can do that AI cannot? The first thing is clarity. You as an advisor, a human, interacting with another human, your ideal client. The idea of really uncovering the real objectives of the client, to understand what they're actually trying to accomplish. We call this different things in our industry. I call it objectives. A lot of advisors call this goals. What I'm saying is it's not just the goal. So a client, for example, shares with you, I would like to purchase the car of my dreams. I want to buy a Mercedes that costs $120,000. You help the client form the goal into a properly formed goal. You've got the name of the goal. It's a $120,000 Mercedes, whatever class of Mercedes that is. You've got 2 elements of the goal. You've got the name of the goal, what to measure with the goal to achieve the goal. It's currently costs $120,000. The only thing you're missing is the target date. This is something that a human can do that AI so far is very wobbly at doing. Clients tend to think in terms of time frames. They'll say things like within the next 5 years. And what a human can do is really narrow it down and make it more precise. Form it into what I would call a properly formed objective. You get them to say, I'd like to have this Mercedes, let's say in 2031. Now we've got a year. When in 2031? I'd like to have it by July 4th. So now you have all the elements of the goal. You've got the name of the goal, the Mercedes, the amount, $20,000 in today's dollars, and you know it's going to be more expensive at the time of the goal. And then you have the target date for accomplishing the goal. Now you've got all the elements to achieve the goal. What is it that a human can do that's different and better than a machine? You can understand what's the goal in the big picture. So what is it about this Mercedes that's so important to you? And you can get a client to candidly share with you the big picture. It gives me a feeling of fulfillment, of success, I've wanted this car ever since I was a kid. A human can get a client to explain the bigger goal. What else makes you feel fulfilled or successful? Ultimately, I'd like financial independence. I'd like to have money coming in so I can live the lifestyle that I've always wanted and never worry about running out of money. So now we have a bigger goal. The one goal led to a bigger goal. It's the idea of getting clients to open up candidly and start sharing the big picture. It's in that framework that you can create a plan to achieve the objectives. Here's the thing a human can do that automation has a hard time with. It's understanding the sacrifices that an individual is willing to make to achieve these goals. You could tell a client, great, I've got all these goals that you want to achieve. Here's what it's going to take to achieve them. You're going to have to contribute this amount of money to your plan over this period of time. I'll work on how to deploy the assets and make sure that they're growing behind the scenes to help give a wind behind the sails of these goals. But in the end, Mr. or Mrs. Client, you need to do these things if you're serious about these goals. If something happens and things get tough, how serious are you about these goals? What would you be willing to sacrifice to stay on track to these goals? I've worked with AI intensively on a daily basis. I've gotten AI at our firm to do things that most financial advisory firms cannot or will not do for clients. AI is extraordinary. It can do a lot of things, but the one thing it cannot do is see the bigger picture unless you lead it there by the nose. The fact that a human can get someone to open up, give the bigger picture, and to identify how serious they are about the goals and their level of commitment to implement and their willingness to sacrifice. This whole experience that I just described, even if an AI could do this, which I believe someday mechanically AI will be smarter than we are, it will move hundreds if not thousands of times faster mentally than we do, but connecting as a human to another human and being able to empathize with someone about the issue of sacrifice and the idea of fulfillment in achieving things, robots never going to understand that. There will always be a percentage of affluent ideal clients that will pay not only a premium to experience this human connection, but they will resist automation. If a robot tries to take them through the same process, they won't have the same emotional connection with a robot. Some will. I will say maybe 80% of people will hire a robot, drink the Kool-Aid, and be happy as a clam. I totally get it. What I'm saying is there will always be that 20% of affluent, ideal clients that appreciate the human connection, want the human connection, and will pay a premium to avoid the robot connection. You, as a human, could get really skilled at that part of the experience. Can you create an extraordinary client experience, helping clients gain clarity about the objectives, to not just set goals, but to uncover the real objectives, all of the objectives? The big picture. That's what you can do. What's the second thing? Alignment. One thing a human can do that a robot can't do now, and I think will never be able to do. It will be able to do this mechanically, but it will do it differently. It'll do it in a mechanical way, maybe a very engaging, compelling, great personality and all of that, but not in a way that a human can with another human. When I say alignment, what I mean is, what do you do when a human's actions don't match what they claim they want? You have a client, they've clearly stated their objectives, you've skillfully gotten them to identify their real goals, what they are trying to achieve big picture, and you've clearly got that mapped out. Time goes on, you're helping them achieve their goals, you've got a client relationship, and then something occurs and the client is tempted to take their plan off track. It could be anything. Maybe you've got them set up on a plan to achieve their goals, and all of a sudden they get distracted by a bright, shiny object like a boat, a yacht, or some expensive trinket. It could be jewelry, it could be anything. All of a sudden, they see something that they want, and they come to you and they say, hey, I'm thinking about buying this thing. And you point out, it's your money, of course, do what you want, but how serious are you about these big goals that you've shared with me to make the point that if you do this, it will harm your goals and your plan. The thing that a human can do that an AI will never be able to do, certainly cannot do right now, and probably never as effectively as a human connection, it's to be the advocate for the client's goals. The client has shared all their objectives with you, the real deal. They've shared what they're truly trying to accomplish. And in the future, when they are tempted to take the plan off track, to do this bright, shiny object, do an outlay of money that's going to at least temporarily throw their plan off track or change the target date for the goal or something like that, who on earth is going to stand up and advocate for the goal? Wait a minute. You told me this was your top priority. What's changed? You're advocating for what they've shared with you, which was an important objective. And you're just doing the thing that automation is not designed to do. If you've had any experience with AI, then you know as well as I do. It blows wind up your skirts. It's constantly telling you how smart you are, and that's a sharp point. And you've really focused in on the key issue. And, oh, you want to buy that $500,000 boat? That's a great idea. AI is there to please. It does not want to upset you. Here you are as the most trusted advisor who's in possession of understanding the goals, the real objectives that this client's trying to achieve in their lifetime. And now they want to do this thing that might harm the goal. Well, that's fine. Like any financial advisor, it's their money. They can do what they want. But you're the one standing up defending what they told you before. Which is it? Is this more important, or is this new thing that you're wanting to do more important? It's the voice of reason. People are inherently irrational. They make emotional decisions. The one thing I've learned over 40 years of dealing with multimillionaires is the more affluent, the more successful the client, the more rational they think they are, but the more the stakes are raised when they make a mistake. They make emotional decisions and try to justify it with logic all the time. The more affluent they are, the more money's involved. When they make a mistake or they do something that could harm the plan, nobody's there challenging their thinking. And it's in a helpful, useful way. This is what you're paid to do. This is the second thing, alignment with their goals. Is the client serious about what they've shared with you that they want to achieve or not? You're trying to align their actions with what they claim that they want. As an advisor, as a human advisor, you can point out when that alignment goes out of whack. What's the third thing? The third mode of protection that AI cannot do and will never be able to do the same way a human can. It's the step beyond alignment. It's confrontation. There are times when clients don't just want to do something trivial that would take their plan off track. They are in panic mode or emotional in some way, and they are coming to you with a proposal to do something that won't just divert the plan off track temporarily. No, if they do what they're saying they're thinking of doing, it would completely blow up their plan totally. For example, this has happened 5 times in my career. There's something that occurs in the headlines, world events, in the markets that puts clients into panic mode. I was licensed in 1987 when we had the largest market decline since the Great Depression. We had the Black Monday in the stock market. We had all kinds of things, 9/11. I've lived through a bunch of these points in time where clients call me up and they say, "Did you see what happened? The World Trade Center building just fell." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm watching it on TV as we speak." We need to sell everything. We need to take everything that we've put together, this whole plan that we've carefully crafted to achieve long-term objectives that are important to me. We need to take all that, flush the toilet, and sell everything, and just trash the whole thing, and just sit in cash, or whatever. I'm just saying that there is a step beyond just challenging a bad idea, alignment, and asking a client whether or not they're truly serious about the goals that they've shared with you. The third thing that a human can do that AI cannot do, I don't think AI will ever be able to talk a client down off the ledge. A client who is standing there clinging to survival of their financial affairs and they're proposing to you to do something that will just completely and utterly destroy the plan and blow it up. It's your ability as a human, because it's a skill that you've been training years for. I can tell you with absolute certainty in my mind, this is the moment that you were actually hired for and should be training for, just like you go to the gym to train for fitness. This is something that you should be thinking about, worrying about, building your skills over. This is what I mentor my financial advisor. I tend to work with top producers, #1 firms, and these are advisors that are highly skilled, highly experienced, highly successful. And I tell them that the moment you were hired for, back when the client chose you over every other firm, the moment that counts the most is that moment over this 20, 30-year relationship with this family, when they come to you in panic mode, proposing to blow everything up for whatever reason. It's your skill in that moment to be persuasive, compelling, and to make the point that this is a mistake and to talk them down from the cliff. A human can do that. Now, AI, I believe there will come a point in time where AI will look like us, talk like us, 10 times smarter than us, do things faster than us, be better than us in all areas except this: human connection. It's my belief, after having studied this now for almost a year, studying AI, what it can do, how it can benefit clients, and what the real value of our relationship with clients beyond what AI will ever be able to do. This is the third and final piece. It's the idea of being able to challenge, question, and talk clients out of disastrous decisions. There you go. There's 3 things that AI certainly cannot do, I don't think will ever be able to do. It's give complete clarity and insight to a client about what they're trying to achieve in the long term, not just the little goals that they've hired you for in the interim, like, I'd like you to invest my money because I want to buy a Mercedes 5 years from now. No, there's some bigger thing. A human can get a client to reveal all this and to identify how serious they are and willingness to sacrifice. The second is alignment, to make the point that sometimes we know the right thing to do to achieve our goals. Why don't we always act in a way that benefits our long-term objectives? You, as an advisor, can do that in a way as a human that a machine will never be able to do, to help remind a client that you've said in the past this is a higher priority, but now you're trying to do something different. So which is it? That sort of human connection is valuable. Then the third is the ability to be compelling in the moment that counts the most. It's that 1 or 2 or 3 times over a 20 or 30-year relationship that a client comes to you with irrational, emotional energy, and you have an opportunity to talk them out of the worst mistake that they will ever make, so that when the skies clear up and everything comes back on track, they can realize that it was this relationship with you that actually saved their financial affairs and kept them on track to achieving all their objectives for the reasons that matter most to them. So there's 3 things I would ask you to go through the thought exercise and start thinking about. In addition to these 3 things, what are some other things that are experiences that you can provide? The extraordinary client experience that you as a human advisor can provide, that even if an advisor looks better than us, talks better than us, smarter than us, it's still that human connection that I'm going to say at least 20% of affluent ideal clients will crave and reject automation and pay a premium for you. The question is, are you dialing into those things right now during this small window of time that we've got to think about such things?